In the modern world, power no longer announces itself with gunfire. It hides behind contracts, foundations, and corporate logos. The men who once built empires with bullets and fear learned long ago that silence is stronger than chaos. Today, billions of dollars still move through invisible networks, offshore accounts, shipping manifests, and encrypted calls. The world tells itself that the era of cocaine kings died with Pablo Escobar in 1993. But look closer, and you'll see the blueprint he left behind was never his. It belonged to 4 men from the city of Cali. Men who called themselves businessmen, not killers. They dressed in tailored suits, smiled for cameras, and moved cocaine across continents with the precision of bankers. Their names: Gilberto Rodríguez Orejuela, Miguel Rodríguez Orejuela, José Santacruz Londoño, and Helmer Pacho Herrera. Together, they built an empire so vast and so disciplined that for nearly a decade, it controlled 80% of the world's cocaine trade, without declaring war on anyone. Their secret weapon wasn't terror. It was order. They learned from Escobar's mistakes and weaponized respectability. The world called them the Gentlemen of Cali. This is not the story of chaos. It's the story of control and how the quiet ones won. December 2nd, 1993. Medellín, Colombia. Gunfire echoes through a middle-class neighborhood. On a rooftop lies the most feared man in the world, Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria, dead at 44. The man who once held Colombia hostage has fallen, his empire shattered by a coalition of police, rivals, and betrayal. Across the nation, people cheer in the streets. The newspapers declare the end of the king. But inside a mansion 400 kilometers south, in the city of Cali, 4 men pour whiskey and make a silent toast. They do not celebrate Escobar's death out of joy, but out of confirmation. The storm has passed. Now, the real businessmen can go to work. Gilberto Rodríguez Orejuela, el ajedrecista, the chess player, watches the news and says quietly, "Escobar made cocaine famous. We'll make it invisible." The Medellín Cartel had ruled through fear. Assassinations, bombings, open war with the state. The Cali Cartel would rule through corruption, influence, and precision. Their empire would not burn cities, it would buy them. At the time of Escobar's death, law enforcement estimated that the Cali Cartel already controlled 2/3 of the world's cocaine supply. While the world hunted one man, the true machine of global trafficking had been running quietly, efficiently, and legally disguised. This is where our story begins, not with gunfire, but with strategy. Cali in the 1960s was not yet a city of crime. It was the commercial heart of southwestern Colombia, a place of sugarcane fields, rising industries, and middle-class ambition. Gilberto Rodríguez Orejuela, born 1939, was the son of a modest family. Bright, analytical, and quietly ambitious, he studied accounting and dreamed of success through business, not violence. His younger brother, Miguel, more impulsive and street-savvy, complemented him perfectly. Together, they would form the mind and muscle of what would become the Cali Cartel. In their early 20s, the brothers ran a small pharmacy distribution company, legitimate on paper, but soon used as cover for smuggling contraband. Televisions, liquor, and cigarettes flowed through Colombia's black market, and profits were high. By the early 1970s, they met José Santacruz Londoño, nicknamed Chepe, a cunning operator with deep contacts in New York, and Helmer Pacho Herrera, a young man from Palmyra known for his charisma, discipline, and connections to local militias. Together, they shared a vision to build a network that combined the street with the system, one that would use intelligence, not terror. Their first foray into drugs was not cocaine, but marijuana smuggling to the United States. But by the mid-1970s, a new white powder was rewriting the rules of crime. Cocaine. At that time, the trade was dominated by Medellín's traffickers, small, violent, and ambitious. But Cali's men saw something different. To them, cocaine was not a rebellion, it was an industry. They began investing in labs near Colombia's Pacific coast, refining paste imported from Peru and Bolivia. They established contacts with smugglers in Panama, Mexico, and Miami. Unlike Escobar, who flaunted his wealth, Gilberto insisted on discretion. He told his partners, "The less they see of us, the longer we last." By 1975, the group had its first major success, a 20-kilogram shipment reaching Miami undetected. The profits were staggering. The brothers realized that the key to survival was structure. To run a cartel as if it were a multinational corporation. Thus began the creation of a business model for organized crime. They invested in banks, soccer clubs, and construction companies. They bribed customs officials, bought police loyalty, and began donating to political campaigns. Their reputation in Cali was of respectable businessmen, generous donors, and community figures. No one called them drug lords. They were the Gentlemen of Cali. While Escobar built his empire on violence and fear, Cali built theirs on information. The Rodríguez brothers created a vast intelligence network, known internally as La Oficina de Envigado, years before Medellín's own version existed. Every taxi driver, hotel clerk, and security guard in Cali could serve as eyes and ears for the cartel. Their goal was simple: to know everything about police raids, political changes, rival movements, and even the personal lives of law enforcement. This allowed them to move cocaine through ports, airports, and highways without firing a shot. By 1980, the DEA estimated that the Cali Cartel was smuggling 30 tons of cocaine per month into the United States and Europe. Their secret lay in diversification. Cali's empire was not built around one personality, but a corporate hierarchy. Gilberto was the CEO. Miguel oversaw logistics and enforcement. Santacruz managed international routes. Pacho Herrera handled Mexico and the U.S. networks. Every operation had accountants, lawyers, and legitimate businesses as fronts. They used shell companies in Panama and the Caribbean to launder profits, investing in hotels, real estate, and even telecommunications. DEA agent Joe Toft, who later headed the Bogota office, would say, "If Escobar ran a gang, the Cali Cartel ran a Fortune 500 company." This professionalism won them allies in the highest circles. Judges were bribed. Politicians were funded. Police commanders were on payrolls. In Cali, silence was prosperity. Meanwhile, Medellín's violence drew attention from Washington. Cali thrived in the shadow of Escobar's chaos, feeding on the demand that his wars created. By 1983, the cartel's influence stretched from the jungles of Colombia to New York's Wall Street. But success brought exposure and their first major crisis. In 1983, U.S. authorities intercepted a massive Cali shipment off the Florida coast. The investigation traced back to Colombian soccer clubs owned by the Rodríguez brothers, particularly América de Cali, one of the nation's top teams. FIFA later blacklisted the club under the Clinton list for suspected money laundering. Still, Gilberto remained calm. To the public, he was a philanthropist. To his partners, a strategist. And to his enemies, invisible. By the mid-1980s, Colombia was bleeding. Pablo Escobar's Medellín Cartel had declared war on the government, bombing courthouses, assassinating politicians, and turning the streets into battlegrounds. Cali's leaders watched with growing horror and opportunity. Gilberto Rodríguez Orejuela saw Escobar's brutality not as power, but as weakness. He told his inner circle, "The man who fights the state is already defeated." While Medellín waged open war, Cali waged diplomacy. They funded political campaigns, sponsored hospitals, and cultivated relationships with police and military officers. Their message was simple. We are businessmen. We keep order. Inside the Colombian government, some officials began to believe that if one cartel had to survive, better the quiet one than the violent one. This unspoken logic allowed the gentlemen to operate with astonishing freedom. But Escobar's paranoia saw betrayal everywhere. He targeted Cali's networks, assassinating mid-level traffickers and hijacking shipments. The Rodríguez brothers responded not with revenge, but with information. They began feeding intelligence about Escobar to both Colombian and U.S. authorities. In 1984, when Minister of Justice Rodrigo Lara Bonilla was murdered on Escobar's orders, it was Cali's informants who quietly supplied evidence, linking Medellín's to the crime. It was also Cali money that financed the creation of Los Pepes, a vigilante group formed in the early 1990s to hunt Escobar's men. The alliance between Cali, certain factions of the Colombian police, and USDEA agents was unofficial, but real. ADEA cable from 1992 described it as a convergence of interests among those who wanted Escobar gone for justice or for business. As Medellín collapsed under the weight of its own violence, Cali's empire expanded like a quiet tide. They opened new routes through Mexico, shipping cocaine directly to Los Angeles, New York, and Madrid. They controlled laboratories in the jungle and distribution cells in 20 countries. By 1991, the DEA estimated Cali's global profits at $7 billion a year, far more than Escobar had ever earned. And yet, outside Colombia, few people even knew the Rodríguez name. The death of Pablo Escobar in 1993 created a vacuum. Across Colombia, people celebrated the end of an era, believing peace had returned. But in Cali, the gentlemen simply stepped into the light. With Escobar gone, the Rodríguez brothers moved quickly to secure control of every major smuggling corridor. They took over Medellín's contacts in Miami, bought protection in Mexico, and struck deals with European syndicates. What set them apart was their mastery of legitimacy. They invested heavily in legal enterprises, sugar mills, pharmaceutical companies, radio networks, even a bank. On the surface, Cali was booming with prosperity. Underneath, it was powered by cocaine. At their peak, the cartel employed over 6,000 people worldwide, from chemists and pilots to accountants and lawyers. Entire neighborhoods in Cali depended economically on the organization. The cartel funded schools, sponsored festivals, and provided jobs. To many locals, they were benefactors, not criminals. U.S. intelligence called it the invisibility factor. DEA Chief Joe Toft later said, "You could walk past Miguel Rodríguez in a business suit on the street and never imagine he controlled half the cocaine in the world." But power breeds overconfidence. By 1994, Gilberto Rodríguez believed he could buy the Colombian presidency itself. The cartel secretly donated millions to the campaign of Ernesto Samper, a liberal politician promising reform. When Samper won, rumors swirled that drug money had funded his victory. A scandal exploded. Washington demanded answers. President Clinton decertified Colombia from aid programs, citing credible evidence of cartel influence at the highest levels. For the first time, the world spotlight turned on Cali. The gentleman's mask of respectability began to crack. In 1994, the DEA launched Operation Cornerstone, a coordinated assault on Cali's global network. Agents traced wire transfers, intercepted phone calls, and flipped insiders. The key informant was Jorge Salcedo Cabrera, a Colombian engineer who had managed the cartel's security systems. Realizing the DEA was closing in, Salcedo began secretly cooperating with U.S. agents, providing maps, phone codes, and meeting schedules. His testimony would later inspire documentaries and books. He became the man who brought down the world's richest cartel. Inside Cali, paranoia spread. Gilberto ordered new encryption systems. Miguel demanded loyalty oaths from subordinates. But the web was too large, the leaks too many. On June 9, 1995, Colombian police raided an apartment building in Cali. Behind a false wall, they found Gilberto Rodríguez Orejuela, calm, dressed in pajamas, reading financial reports. He surrendered without resistance. 3 weeks later, José Santacruz Londoño was arrested. Then came Pacho Herrera. Miguel, the last free leader, tried to run the cartel from hiding, but his communications were tapped. In August 1995, he too was captured. By mid-1996, the empire had collapsed. Hundreds of millions of dollars in assets were seized. Warehouses of documents exposed the depth of corruption. The Gentlemen of Cali faced extradition requests and life sentences. José Santacruz escaped prison briefly in 1996, but was killed in a police shootout. Pacho Herrera was murdered inside jail the same year, reportedly by rivals. Gilberto and Miguel were eventually extradited to the United States, where they pleaded guilty to drug trafficking charges. They each received 30-year sentences. The DEA called it the largest and most sophisticated criminal takedown in Western Hemisphere history. For Colombia, it was the end of one era and the beginning of another. The fall of the Cali Cartel did not end the cocaine trade. It transformed it. Their corporate model, decentralized, disciplined, and embedded in legitimate business, became the template for future trafficking organizations. From Mexico's Sinaloa cartel to Europe's Balkan networks, criminals adopted the Cali method. Avoid attention, buy influence, diversify income. Colombia entered a new phase of its war on drugs. Smaller groups, known as cartelitos, filled the vacuum, later evolving into paramilitary and criminal factions. But none ever matched Cali's sophistication. In the 2000s, the Rodríguez brothers negotiated reduced sentences in exchange for cooperation. They were transferred between prisons in Colombia and the U.S., quietly serving time while their fortunes, estimated once at $8 billion, vanished into shell companies and confiscations. Helmer Pacho Herrera's story lingered in legend. His disciplined demeanor and open acknowledgement of his sexuality made him a rare figure in the macho world of narco power. For many Colombians, the memory of the Cali years is complicated. Prosperity mixed with fear, order built on corruption. Today, Cali is a different city. Vibrant, artistic, forward-looking. But the shadows remain. Modern money laundering schemes, real estate empires, and political scandals still echo the methods the gentleman perfected. In interviews, former DEA agents admit that while Escobar captured headlines, the Rodríguez brothers changed the game. As one put it, Pablo Escobar was the face of cocaine. The Cali Cartel was its soul. They ruled without chaos, conquered without armies, and vanished without a trace. Their story is a warning that the quietest empires are often the most dangerous.